Hey guys, ShadowRock here for your Mega News Roundup for this week. We got X DiVE news, movie news, merchandise and teases, and free DLC too, so let's get right into it. Beginning with the deep log, Ciel from the Mega Man Zero series has been revealed to be coming to the game this week. It's the end of August, so that means DiVE Festival is here, and she is going to be the new limited character for the banner. Ciel is definitely a very interesting choice considering that she's not an X-Series character, she's the first human character to be in the roster, and then there's the fact that Ciel was never really a fighter. She always preferred to find peaceful methods to solving problems. That was a big part of her character. Then again, deep-log errors, so who cares, right? Let's just throw all the logic out the window. And give her a gun. Well, even though Ciel wasn't a fighter before, let's see how she fights now in X DiVE. The latest trailer shows us her skills, as well as the artwork, which is very stunning as usual. Now, before we talk about Ciel herself, we do have to report that her voice will be delayed due to COVID-19, just like what happened to Iris when she was first released. Now, Capcom Japan has been in contact with Ciel's old voice actress, Rie Tanaka, as she made a cover of Frisia for her YouTube channel to celebrate the Mega Man Zero and ZX Legacy Collection. Not so long after that, she made an appearance on Capcom TV to talk about Mega Man Zero. So I do believe it is likely she will be reprising her role as Ciel in Rockman X DiVE. We will just have to wait a little bit longer to find out whether that's the case. Also, if you want to listen to that cover, I will have a link to it in the description below. Back to Ciel's skills, the first one is System.Ciel. She will create a cyber field on the ground, and whenever an enemy walks into it, their speed will be lowered by up to 10 layers. One of the skill cards will make enemies unable to use weapons, and she will also have a passive skill that's basically just like Sigma's status guard, making her immune to negative effects. Yeah, we got another one of those now. You can think of System.Ciel as giving you a home field advantage. As long as you stay in the field, and your enemies do as well, you are going to have the upper hand in the fight. You know, I think this is going to be really useful in Jacob's Stage 34. Just slowing down the enemies alone sounds like a huge benefit. And for you guys that predicted she will be using Cyber Elves in X DiVE, you were right, because her second skill is just that. A Cyber Elf. When the Cyber Elf is summoned, it will act like a sort of drone that fires a series of powerful blasts at your foes automatically. With one of the skill cards, you can have it recover your HP when it's summoned, and Ciel will also get a passive skill that will allow the Cyber Elf to lower the enemy's speed and attack through terrain. She's looking like a pretty interesting character, wouldn't you say? Definitely a debuff centric character. We'll see how useful she will be when her banner releases on Thursday, or in other words tomorrow, being part of the new DiVE Festival banner, where if you do pull her, of course, you get the 40 memories. That means Ultimate Armor X, Iris, and Awaken Zero will be back as well, so you will have another shot at getting them if you missed them before. Hope you saved your medals. But that's not the only surprise that Capcom Taiwan has in store for us this week. Remember way back when the closed beta test was still happening? Capcom released a survey where they mentioned a little something called raid mode, asking if that is something that the players wanted. Apparently the answer is yes, because raid boss mode is here. And the first raid boss is a big one. Wolf Sigma, the final boss of Mega Man X1. You can see his epic artwork here in the trailer, and a bit of the gameplay too. Oh, and I have to draw attention to when they teased Wolf Sigma in X DiVE. I kid you not, they did that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure to be continued meme. Holy crap, dude. Now, Capcom has made a JoJo game before, so it's not too crazy, but it's still really awesome to have that kind of reference. Capcom Taiwan are madmen sometimes. JoJo Mega Man collaboration confirmed, guys. Ah! Looks like we'll be fighting Wolf Sigma inside of the factory stage, which obviously, due to deep log errors, it's not the right place. Otherwise, Wolf Sigma looks faithful to his original fight. The energy balls from his mouth which this time he actually physically moves his head to target at you. That's new. And of course, you're still gonna catch those hands. This time though, the hands are positioned a lot lower than in the original fights. Now, as for how raid mode works, instead of this being a co-op raid mode, it's going to be an asynchronous contribution type of raid mode. The idea behind this mode is that all players on the server will work together to defeat the boss. All players also have equal combat power. Each day you will get 5 chances to challenge the raid boss, which you might be able to increase that by spending EMs. And somewhat similarly to Jacob mode, any characters and weapons you use to challenge Wolf Sigma cannot be used again until the next day when the game resets. Otherwise, this is mostly a single player boss battle mode. Where the raid aspect of it comes in is that when you're fighting the boss, it's going to have an infinite amount of health. You're not going to be able to defeat it by yourself. So your goal here is to deal as much damage to the boss as humanly possible in the time limit given to you, and the total damage that you deal to the boss will be registered, and depending on your contribution, you will be able to collect rewards and gain a spot on the leaderboard. Yep, there's a leaderboard for this as well. And it seems the idea is that once all the players on the server collectively deal a certain amount of damage, then the boss will be considered defeated. In fact, you can see the boss's health bar in the trailer. Yeah, that's a lot of numbers. I wonder how fast this event is going to go by, because if we can recharge our challenges through EMs, the Duff McWhalens are going to have a field day with this one. As usual with these kinds of events. This raid mode isn't exactly what I wanted out of this. I would have liked a more co-op aspect, maybe have 2 players fight the boss at a time, at the very least. But it seems like X DiVE is taking the route of other mobile game raid modes where you play by yourself, but you're contributing to a larger goal. Which, considering the various amounts of bugs this game has, that's probably for the best. Though I still can't help but feeling like it doesn't feel as special as, say, the Dragalia Lost raid mode feels. It's just there for me, but hey, it has a cool boss fight, and this is the first Sigma boss we've had, so it should still be fun to check out. By the way, I am still unsure on the status of this week's Rockman X DiVE stream. We always have them on Thursdays at 6 PM Central Time, and as much as I want to uphold that this week, I just don't know, because there's kind of 2 different hurricanes headed my way. Darn it, Tornado and Cloudman. So I'm gonna have to wait and see how bad or how long this is gonna go on. I'll keep you guys posted. If it doesn't happen this Thursday, I'll just do it another day whenever I can. Let's hop back into Mega Man Zero news then, as we got 2 updates for you today. The first coming from Dimension Studio, the company that produced the Mega Man Zero model kit that we discussed before. People are already receiving their Zero model kits, and inside they found a holographic card. If you wave the card back and forth, you see Zero and what? Copy X? And on the back of the card, they say, to be continued. So it seems like Dimension Studio plans to continue the Mega Man Zero line of model kits, and Copy X could be next in line. We don't know for sure yet if that is the case, but I think the tease does lend a lot of credibility to that theory. That is definitely new Copy X art. What do you think, and would you buy a Copy X model kit? Personally, I think it would be pretty awesome, especially considering that Copy X hasn't gotten a real model kit yet to my memory. Not counting fan stuff, of course. Okay, pretty cool, but how about the video games? Well, if you missed out on the Red Point Remixes DLC when Mega Man Zero and ZX Legacy Collection came out, you're in luck, because the DLC is now free to download on PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PC. No word on Xbox One yet, but it's probably coming soon. We did figure that this DLC would be made available for free eventually, because they did the same thing with Mega Man 11's soundtrack DLC. But it's still awesome that it's finally here, so those of us that either didn't pre-order or got screwed over on our DLC codes, thanks Best Buy, can now pick up this DLC and listen to those awesome tunes. Are you going to be picking up the DLC? And which one is your favorite of the Red Point remixes? I gotta say, Trail on Powdery Snow has to be my favorite. It's really, really nice. The last news we got for you today is an interview concerning the Mega Man movie. Yes, the live action one that's currently in production. The scriptwriter for the movie, Menacing Tomlin, recently sat down and talked to Polygon about the movie. Polygon asked 2 questions of the man, which he answered, so I'll go ahead and read both of them for you. Polygon asked, "How did you approach making Mega Man functional as a movie character?" Tomlin replies, "I think the same way with any other character. You treat him like he's a real person. I was brought into that later in the process because Henry Yost and Ariel Schulman, who directed Project Power, which by the way that's available right now, are also directing the Mega Man movie, and they had been working on it for a while, and we just had a good time working on Project Power together that they decided to be kind enough to continue with the party in this other universe. My way into it was always, what is a compelling story? And what is the real soul of that character? We all kind of know him as this cartoonish blue bomber who jumps and shoots. And to kind of go beyond that and knowing that, okay, visually it's going to be a certain thing that is going to please the video game fan. But you know what is the story at the center? They're like, what is it that this character can really go through? It'll be universal and primal and emotional and everybody can kind of relate to. So I'm really excited about that script. I'm really excited about what the guys are going to do with that movie, and hopefully there'll be some news about it soon. And before I get into my thoughts about that, let's read the next question. Is it a kids movie like Sonic? I think it's something that the kids will like. I don't want to say what our comps are because it might betray a little too much, but it is not squarely in the kid territory. But I don't think that's an R-rated movie either. So I gotta be honest with you, man. I'm trying to be optimistic about this movie, but some of what he's saying here also concerns me. For one, when I think of ways to describe Mega Man, the word primal is definitely not the first thing that comes to my mind. Now, before the comments go off on me, there are 2 different definitions for primal. The first is the obvious one, relating to an early stage in evolutionary development, or relating to our primal instinct to survive. And the other one is essential, fundamental, basically saying this is an essential film. Let's just hope he's talking about that second definition, because the first one makes no sense at all. We're talking about robots, for goodness sake. Either way, what an odd choice of a word to describe Mega Man. The other stuff I can more or less get behind, you know, universal is going to appeal to all audiences. That makes sense for Mega Man. Emotional, yeah, there's definitely some emotional moments in the series, and something that everyone can relate to, which also makes sense because that is the end goal of Dr. Light's creations. Okay, but here's another thing I don't agree with. When he said Mega Man is a cartoonish blue bomber who jumps and shoots, and he wants to go beyond that. Alright, you don't even have to go beyond that, because us true Mega Man fans know he's not just a cartoonish blue bomber. He's not just a robot who jumps and shoots. He is way more than that. And the series does have more than that already. You don't have to go on a soul search for what the heck Mega Man is. You don't have to pull things out of your butt to make a new story. Yeah, the NES games are light on story, but there's a lot more there if you just dig a little deeper. And we've already seen good examples of how to create a good Mega Man story. Just look at the Archie comics. They did a really great job at taking what is there and weaving it together to make a cohesive, fun story to read. And you know, my hope would be that's what they do for this Mega Man movie, but with some of the comments lately, there is some concern that they might make Mega Man another dark, gritty, cliche robot movie. You guys know what I mean. You know how Hollywood does things. That isn't to say Mega Man isn't a dark series. Oh, there are definitely dark moments in this series. But I hope they incorporate the other elements, not just the dark moments. Like the family bond between Dr. Light, Rock and Roll. The underlying themes of creating peace between humans and robots, something that even Mega Man Fully Charged got right. All of that. Like I said, I still want to be optimistic though. I really hope they make a great movie. And recently, Menacing Tomlin did mention the fans a bit in an interview with Hollywood Reporter, Tomlin said, "I hope the people who on Twitter hit me up all the time and their avatar is Mega Man, hey, that's me. I hope that they love the movie." And I'll just repeat the same thing I said on Twitter about that. Make us proud, Mr. Tomlin. What do you guys think, and how do you feel about how the Mega Man movie is developing so far? And if you do want to see more of his work, Project Power is available now, and they just released the first trailer for The Batman. So if you want to see some examples of his work so far, you can check those out and see how you feel. Otherwise, that would do it for today's Mega News Roundup. Thank you for watching, everybody, and for all the support on the ShadowRockZX channel. It really does mean the world to us that you guys tune in every day, support the streams, and help us achieve our goal of entertaining you guys and creating smiles too. All cheesiness aside, for more on Mega Man, stay tuned to ShadowRockZX, and until next time, when we do some sponsored pulls next dive, rock on. Have a great day.